Hi everyone, it's Sandy Chong here from the Australian Hairdressing Council, and I've got Ian Jones from businesssales.com.au, and we're going to have a conversation all about, what is the procedure? What do I do next if I'm thinking of selling my business? Ian Jones is absolutely the expert here. He is so knowledgeable when it comes to being prepared in selling your salon. So we're going to talk about the process, what do we need to do? How does it all work? And, Ian has the answers to everything. So thank you, Ian, for coming on board. I know that we've had you before and the information that you share is just invaluable. So welcome again.
Well, thanks, Sandy. Yeah, great to be back. And you're right. Look, these are the same questions that are on the tip of the tongue of every salon owner. It's hard being in business, but it can be a little bit tricky when navigating the sale. And we're here to absolutely help through every step of the process.
Fantastic. And, I've got a list of questions. I've written them all down. And I have to admit, look, whenever someone does contact the AHC, we always recommend you because I know that you have all the right answers and, you are incredibly successful as well at selling salons. But, I think the first thing that every salon worries about is the confidentiality. I mean, the fear that, everyone's going to know your business for sale, the staff find out, and there is that, you feel very, I guess, vulnerable might be the word. So how does confidentiality work?
Yeah, look, confidentiality is absolutely one of the most significant aspects of selling a business because it's not rocket science to work out who the most logical buyers are for most businesses. It's usually one of five categories: a customer, a competitor, a supplier, a staff member, or a strategic acquisition. So for most businesses across most industries, they're the logical buyers. But they're also exactly the same people that you don't want to know that your business or your salon is for sale, because inevitably staff get nervous as soon as you say, look, I'm thinking of selling. Yes, one of those staff members could be a logical strategic buyer, but the reality is they're also going to be nervous. They could look at moving on. As soon as your staff start to leave, the stories start to spread. Yeah, if people become more vulnerable, it's not quite as the salon doesn't run as well, it's less desirable to a buyer, it's going to start to get devalued, you can start to lose a lot of value, and buyers won't necessarily want to move forward. So having a confidential selling campaign is absolutely crucial. Businesssales.com.au is Australia's only live and confidential selling platform. So whether you're a business owner wanting to sell your salon privately without all the selling fees and commissions, or if you're using a professional licensed business broker, insist that they use and you use businesssales.com.au platform because it's purpose built to help hardworking business owners be able to sell their business without the market actually knowing about it. It's absolutely brilliant. And we can talk about this another time, or I can go into as much detail as you want. But for anybody thinking about it, definitely there's some incredible resources, specific checklists just for salons about how to actually sell a business. But they can literally list and sell their salon for free. It's incredible.
And I know that we'll have a chat about the checklist because with the Australian Hairdressing Council, we pop your checklist into our resource library, because it's really important that, we sort of, I guess we need to know the steps. And so if we look at the first step in being prepared, what do we need to prepare? I mean, what do we do first? What's on that checklist, for instance?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, there are so many things that somebody will actually have to do. Probably the very first thing is we need to understand what their salon is worth in the current market. And there's a few steps around that one. We've actually we've got a really great blog, and it is explained and talked through in a little bit more detail in that checklist about how to actually price a salon. Most salons are priced based on the profitability that they make. Profit can be expressed one of, the three most common ways for a salon, for any business financials actually to be expressed is there's usually the profit for or that your accountant will be doing, the tax profit. which most accountants will be making as low as possible so you pay less tax. And then there's two others. There's EBITDA, which stands for earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization. Essentially, it's a nice way of being able to describe the profit for a business at arm's length of the owner. So the owner owns the business but doesn't work in the business. But as you know, most salons are actually run by hardworking business owners that play an active role in the business. There's, whether it's on the tools or actively within the business in a different capacity. And that's what we would often use EBITDA. Now, that stands for a proprietor's earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization. Essentially, that's the net profit that flows to the business owner who works actively in the business, including profit from the business and wages that they earn. So that's usually the profit standard that most salons are actually based on. And there's a few really good rule of thumbs. My suggestion is go in, have a look at the checklist because it's a really good pricing guide. If you get stuck, you can call any of the businesssales.com.au team, and we're extremely experienced and we can help any of your salon owners get an understanding of what their salons are worth. As you know, many of them will have a valuable fit out. They'll have fittings, fixtures, a fit out, and assets that are all included in the sale, and the quality, the condition, how current they are. All of those things can have a really significant bearing on the overall value of the salon when it's sold as well.
Yeah, that sounds not as easy for anyone to do all by themselves. So I can see the value on why someone would actually need to come to you. And it's like, Ian, just do all of this for me. This sounds, a bit more complicated than just putting a price on it. But so in looking at that, who writes the ad? Does a salon owner write an ad, or do you have someone who writes the ads? Like, how do you write an ad when you want to sell your salon? How would someone do that?
Yeah, well, actually, firstly, on the blog on our website, there's a really great resource, and it talks specifically about the attributes and qualities that you want to do when you're actually writing an ad. So you really, firstly, you want to, there is the old saying about, the five Ps, prior preparation prevents, poor performance. You want to think through all of the attributes and qualities of your salon, but you really want to focus on the features, on the benefits of your salon rather than just the features as well. So, it might be, instead of writing, 8 car parks, you might talk about like the easy and convenient parking for client. Always talk about the benefits of it. But the great thing as well is when somebody's actually looking to list a business, we actually have this cutting edge AI technology that allows, instead of having to spend half an hour or an hour thinking through and writing an ad from scratch. We've got some salon owners that are amazing with hair, but they're really, writing ad is not necessarily their skill set. We've got an AI generation tool, a copywriting tool that will enable somebody to effectively write a really professional, optimized ad in around 15 seconds. They
Wow.
literally just write the top 6 points, with as much detail as they can, and that will draft probably about 90% of a really well-written ad that's going to be appealing to buyers that are looking for a salon, but will not disclose the business because the confidentiality, as we've already spoken about, is absolutely crucial. So we need to manage that part really, really well. And this is, like I said, this is Australia's only purpose-built, live, and confidential selling platform. There is nothing else like it in Australia. And any salon owner or business broker working in this space should be utilizing the cutting-edge tools that will enable hardworking business owners and buyers get these deals done in a much better and sophisticated and confidential way.
Okay, great. And of late we've had quite a lot of salon owners ask us about, selling their business. So what more can you tell us about businesssales.com.au? Like, what do we need to know?
Yeah, well, essentially, as we know, salon owners wear many, many hats. This is really, we can't, not everybody can be an expert at absolutely everything, but when we do know that it's time to exit, we know that there's been a lot of hard work and effort in often going in, like whether it be something that, a business owner took over, pre-COVID and had a really tough time, or somebody's just been working at it for decades and it's time for another challenge. Like we genuinely want to help hardworking business owners be able to transition well and allow the next generation or the next people wanting to step into business. It's something that is a really aspirational thing. The 2.5 million, hardworking small, businesses in Australia are really the engine room of the Australian economy, and we want to be able to keep, the Australian economy moving by helping really, hardworking and wonderful businesses transition well. So we can do that. We've got an incredible resource. We can help people literally list and sell their business and buy businesses for free. It's a site that will really it'll transform. It is actually transforming the way businesses are bought and sold in Australia. We really value our partnership with the Australian Hair Council. The AHC has been an incredible advocate for hardworking salon owners and importantly, providing a real resource for people wanting to come into the profession as well. And that pathway is really important. And I'm really glad and proud to have this friendship with you, but also with the community as well, because we all need each other, and
Yeah.
we love to help.
And I think it's very stressful when you buy or sell a salon. And I think you take a lot of that angst away with just, because you guys know actually what you're doing. So just one last question, because I know that you're going to give us all these resources, which is absolutely brilliant. Thank you. So what's on the checklist? And because we're going to upload that in our library. So what kind of things are on that checklist as an example?
Oh, okay. Well, one of the things is answering some of the frequently asked questions that people will have. Does the business have any cyclical or seasonal fluctuations? Is it in a holiday area? Is it in a CBD? Is it Monday trade? Is it Monday to Friday trade, or is it heavily focused towards events and weddings and those sorts of things? Do you have agreements in place with or contracts with staff and suppliers? Do you use any database or point of sale software and accounting packages in the business? Do you have good and reliable staff? What's your role in the business as the current owner? How many hours do you work in the business? Can you take time away from the business? What is the average weekly revenue? All of these things are important. One of the fundamental things, though, will be in the profitability of the business, and certainly, and the value and the types of assets that are included as well, and what they're worth. So, if you've got valuable fit out or assets, it might be worth keeping a record of what your fit out costs were. And if you've got some really key assets, it might be worth getting them valued as well. Most businesses are sold at a particular price plus the value of including the fittings, fixtures, and all of those sorts of things, but plus the value of the stock. There's usually the business price, including all assets, plus the value of the stock itself. So having a fair indication of what that stock value is worth as well. But certainly talk to your accountant about how profitable the business is, usually expressed as a PBITDA. If you use that terminology, your accountant will understand what it is. And most people within that salon, hairdressing space will actually, that'll be the standard that most of them will use. And if you get stuck, contact us as a team. We actually have an integration with Xero as well, which is, Australia's most commonly used accounting software as well. We'll be integrating with other platforms and other packages, down the track as well. So if it's a matter of having all of your financial information presented in a nice, professional yet confidential way, we have means of being able to integrate seamlessly with with people that are operating through zero. And it might be that we can organize that connection with your accountant or with you as a business owner, but it'll make the presenting of the financials so much easier, which allows buyers to move through the buying process in a more structured and seamless way so that you can sell your salon so much faster. And that really is so important to so many salons owners. When they want to sell, they really do want to sell. And we've got strategies in place that can actually help people so that it's not literally just an opinion on what my business might be worth, but strategies on pricing as well. So if you get stuck, contact our team. We're always here to help. But we really just want to help people transition well into and out of business so we can, keep, small business alive and moving.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time today, Anne, and also thank you for supporting the Australian Hairdressing Council, but many of our members who have used your services, but, even those in the industry that have used your services, we've had incredible feedback. And everything that you say about the confidentiality when it comes to using, businesshours.com.au, I know that that does happen. And so I really appreciate your support and helping those in our industry who actually really do want to sell their salon, and for those who actually want to buy into the industry as well. So thanks for your time today. And I know I'm going to get you back because, oh my God, you have got so much information there. But also thank you for the resources that you've sent the AHC to.
Thank you. Thanks, Sandy.